Welcome back to Catalyst University. My name is Kevin Tokoff. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for future videos and notifications. When it comes to the postural drainage positions on the NPTE, of course the questions have answers that are words, right? So conceptually speaking, there's probably three things that will help you determine the answers. And that's what we're going to look at for all 10 positions. One is the patient position. For example, are they in sitting, supine, prone, or side lying? The table angle. Is the table level? Is the foot elevated? Is the head elevated? And then also the location of the percussion or vibration that's used in the postural drainage. And just keep in mind that based on the name of the lung segment that we're percussing or vibrating, we should be able to reason through some of the answers. So you're not just totally memorizing or totally guessing. Let's begin with this one. Describe the position, table angle, and location of percussion for chest clearance of this lung segment, so upper apical. So the upper apical segments of the superior lobes of the lungs are all the way up at the top of each lung. And the top of each lung is all the way up by the clavicle. So that should give us a clue. The location of percussion is therefore going to be above the clavicles or supraclavicular. If you palpate your own clavicle and go above that, what position is going to be the easiest to reach that in? Well, it's going to be in sitting. And also note that the patient's going to be reclined about 30 to 40 degrees. But the point is the position's in sitting and the table is going to be level. So this is for the upper apical segments right here. Again, this is supraclavicular. Next, if we do the upper anterior segments of the superior lobes, this is also up near the top, but just below the upper apical segments. So if the upper apical segments were above the clavicle, then the upper anterior ones would be just below the clavicles, or infraclavicular. That's the location of percussion. Now again, palpate your own clavicle and now go beneath that. Okay, that's kind of in the area of the upper pec muscle. What position is going to be easiest to reach that? Well, now it's going to be supine. So the patient's going to be in supine and the angle of the table is still going to be level, just as it is in the upper apical segments. Again, here's the technique done for the upper anterior segments right here, or the anterior segments of the upper lobes. It's going to be infraclavicular and done in supine. Now for the right and left upper posterior segments, we're going to be looking at those separately because depending on if you're doing right or left, there's a slight variation. But we have this term posterior, so we should be able to rule out a couple patient positions. What's the most effective way to hit the posterior side of the body, particularly of the thorax? Well, it's definitely not in supine because the back would be on the table. You couldn't hit it from there. Theoretically, you could do side lying, but it's not the best position. It's not going to be sitting because to be sitting, you'd have the back supported and therefore there'd be something blocking the back. So the most obvious answer would be prone. If someone's laying on their stomach, it's going to be really easy to hit the back from there. Okay? So it's going to be in prone. There's technically also a 1/4 turn that places the right side of the body elevated relative to the left. The way we can accomplish that in prone is by sticking some pillows underneath the patient's head and shoulders. And that makes sense that we're elevating the right side because we're percussing the right side. Okay? Table angle is going to be level in this case. We haven't seen any variation in that yet. And the location of percussion will be the right scapula, specifically its medial border. Again, here's the technique for the right upper posterior segment. They're going to be percussing the right medial border of the scapula, and if you look closely, you can actually see here that there's some pillows under the right side of the body that allow that 1/4 turn from prone to elevate the right side of the body. Now the left upper posterior segment is going to be very similar to the right, except for one little difference that we'll see in a minute. Okay? We're still percussing the posterior segment, so the most obvious patient position would be prone, and there's still going to be a 1/4 turn, but this time the left side is going to be elevated relative to the right. And the way we do that is by sticking pillows underneath the left side of the head and left shoulder, okay, to bring the left side up. Now in this case, the table angle is not level. Actually, we're going to be elevating the head of the table about 45 degrees, okay? And this time we're going to be percussing the left medial border of the scapula. Again, here's the technique for the left upper posterior segment. You can see they're percussing the left medial border of the scapula, and you can look and see the pillows underneath the left side of the body that elevate the left side of the body to get that 1/4 turn from prone. Again, remember with this one, the head of the bed is elevated 45 degrees. That's not something that we see for the right upper posterior segment. Now we're getting into the middle parts of the lungs. And remember that the left lung does not have a middle lobe. It has a lingular lobe or a lingula. So technically I don't need to specify the left there because the lingula designates the left lung. But that's just there for clarity. So how do we percuss the left lingular lobe? Well, the patient's going to be in supine with a 1/4 turn to elevate the left side. Okay, we're percussing the left side, the left lingula, so we should elevate the left side a little bit. Okay, and now at this point, we're going to start to see a bunch of table angles where the head is actually lower. For both of the middle parts of the lungs, the head's going to be lower 12 inches, but it'll actually increase going beyond that. We'll see that in a few minutes. So to percuss the left lingular lobe, the head of the bed is going to be lower by 12 inches. You could also say that the foot of the bed is going to be elevated by 12 inches. Okay? And the site of percussion is at a space between the left axilla and the left nipple. Okay? So that's going to give us the left lingula. Again, here's the technique for the left lingular lobes. You can see they're in supine, but with that 1/4 turn to elevate the left side of the body, which again makes sense because we're percussing the left lingula, and you can see there that the percussion site is between the axilla and the left nipple. That brings us to the right side, and the right lung does have a right middle lobe. To percuss that, it'll be almost identical except the directionality switched. Patient's going to be in supine with a 1/4 turn to elevate the right side. That makes sense because we're percussing the right side. Head of the bed is still going to be lower by 12 inches, or we could say the foot is going to be elevated by 12 inches. And we're going to be percussing at a space between the right axilla and the right nipple. So almost identical to the left lingula, except the directionality. And here's the technique for the right middle lobe. Again, you have everything the same as the left lingular lobe, except now the directionality is flipped. So now we're percussing between the right axilla and the right nipple. And now the right side of the body is elevated with a 1/4 turn from supine. We're now going to get into a span of 3 of these that are lower anterior basal, lower posterior basal, and lower lateral basal. You need to group these together in your mind. And these, I think, are among the easiest to learn. So for lower anterior basal, we look at the term anterior. What position is going to give us the easiest time percussing the anterior part of the body? Well, it can't be prone because the belly would then be on the table. It's going to be supine, because when we're laying on our back, that's going to allow us to percuss the anterior side. So lower anterior basal, the patient position is going to be supine. Now with these, the head of the bed is going to be lower. However, it's now going to be lower by 18 inches instead of a foot. Or we could say that the foot of the bed is elevated by 18 inches. And the site of percussion is going to be the lower ribs on the ipsilateral side. So if we want to percuss the right lower anterior basal segment, it would be the right lower ribs. Okay, if we want to do the same thing on the left, it'd be the left lower ribs. Okay. Now for lower posterior basal, again, the posterior gives us a clue. How do we strike the posterior aspect? Well, the patient's going to have to be in prone. That's the easiest way to do that. So for lower posterior basal, the position is going to be prone. Head of the bed is lower by 18 inches, or the foot is elevated by 18 inches. And again, it's going to be the lower ribs on the ipsilateral side. Next, we have lower lateral basal. How do we strike the lateral aspect of the body? Well, it's not supine or prone, it's going to be side lying. And the head of the bed is going to be lower by 18 inches, or the foot of the bed is elevated by 18 inches, and we're percussing the lower ribs on the ipsilateral side. Here's the technique for the anterior basal segments of the lower lobes. Again, you're percussing those lower ribs, but notice that the percussion's coming from more the anterior part of those lower ribs. When we look at the percussion for the posterior basal segments of the lower lobes, we're still getting the lower ribs, but notice we're getting more of their posterior aspect in the percussion. And then for the lateral basal segments of the lower lobes, or lower lateral basal, we're still getting the lower ribs, but now we're percussing at a site intermediate between where we did it for the anterior basal segments and the posterior basal segments. So really kind of right on the top there when the patient's in side lying. And finally, we have the oddball here, the lower superior segment, and technically this is the superior segment of the lower lobe or of the inferior lobe of the lung. And to percuss this, the patient's going to be in prone, the table angle is going to be level, and then you're going to be percussing the inferior border of the scapula. Again, if you're doing the right lower superior segment, you're going to be percussing the right scapula at its inferior border, and vice versa. And then here's the lower superior segments, or the superior segments of the lower lobes. You can see here that they're percussing the inferior border of the scapula, which has to be done in prone. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and check out my Instagram for cool science and not science stuff.